From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hi there and welcome to Headliners. I'm Lauren Pastrana. We begin with the latest on the political unrest in Venezuela. Following a disputed election win for their incumbent president Nicolas Maduro, Venezuelan opposition leaders Maria Corina Machado and Edmundo Gonzalez are reportedly in hiding and fearing for their lives. Maduro has called for their arrests, accusing them of inciting violence, manufacturing false evidence, and even terrorism. Meanwhile, South Florida politicians want sanctions against Maduro as the Venezuelan community buries loved ones killed in protests. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor joins us from Doral with reaction.
And some of those victims are teenagers. Today, a Venezuelan American tells me here that more innocent lives will be lost if Nicolas Maduro stays in power for 6 more years. Venezuela is grieving today. Singing the national anthem, a family says goodbye to a 15-year-old who witnessed the protest against incumbent President Nicolas Maduro. The target was my brother. It wasn't a straight bullet. He was only 15 years old. He participated in one of the many marches in Maracaibo, Venezuela. According to Human Rights Watch, at least 17 people died in protests since Monday. Over 1,000 have been arrested.
It's our people, our children, our brothers and sisters.
Luis Gonzalez is a Venezuelan American in Doral. He tells me Nicolas Maduro promised a bloodbath if he would not win the elections, and though the incumbent president claims he did, the international community does not take his word.
Our people is suffering too much.
On Thursday, the Venezuelan capital seemed normal. Opposition leaders Maria Corina Machado and Edmundo Gonzalez told their supporters this is the time the international community needs to see what Maduro will do. No protests are necessary now.
The sanctions are important.
Senator Marco Rubio is the latest South Florida politician asking Washington for immediate action. On Wednesday, other elected officials did the same.
There isn't going to be a diplomatic solution, unfortunately, in the short term.
According to Rubio, this conflict is not only a problem for the U.S., but also for Venezuela's neighbors, among other things because of the wave of migration Maduro causes. The Republican senator also addressed those who obeyed Maduro's orders, the Venezuelan armed forces.
I do think there are ways working with other countries that we can do as much as we can to increase the chances that there won't be a bloodbath, because the rank and file serving with arms, serving in uniform, refuse to partake in that. And that's a critical component here.
For Gonzalez, time is of the essence.
Every time we are losing time, people is dying.
And Senator Marco Rubio also addressed the issue of a possible U.S. military intervention in Venezuela. He answered saying, quote, "The era that we live in today is not the era where we're going to see that happen again. We're not in the 1960s anymore." We're in Doral. Yvonne Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
Years after the Surfside collapse, South Florida is in a condo crisis. Upcoming safety deadlines are putting pressure on many condo owners to foot the bill. As CBS News Miami's Joe Gorcho shows, meeting state requirements to make condo buildings safer is pricing people out of their forever homes.
I am being forced out.
Sue Casey has lived in her Hollywood condo at Carriage Hills for the last 12 and a half years.
Yeah, I thought I was going to die here, actually.
She shows me a letter from May on behalf of the association. It shows that she has a lien placed on her property, which could be foreclosed on because she has yet to pay more than $20,000 for the special assessment and late fees.
When did you come to the realization you're not going to be able to pay that?
I knew that right away.
She says the association's proposed monthly payment plan exceeds her fixed income.
I had no wiggle room on where to put a roof over my head.
Casey tells me she's trying to sell her condo, even though she's unsure where she'll live after she's out.
I was planning on sleeping in my car, and my daughter was just like in frantic. And I said, I don't want you to worry about me.
Her story has become an all too familiar tale in South Florida.
It is scary. This process that we're going through now is necessary for everybody's best interest.
Ernesto Cuesta is the president of the Brickell Homeowners Association. He says state laws recently passed ensuring that buildings pass milestone recertification and have money in reserves are necessary following the collapse of Champlain Towers South in 2021. He calls it the condo MRI.
Maintenance, reserves, and insurance. You're talking about risking lives if buildings are not well kept.
Cuesta says the cost to do so now is pricing out some member condo associations in Brickell.
Older buildings that they are in the process of being sold. Right now, probably between 5 to 6. Older buildings require more maintenance. An older building, you have to do heavy investment. Some people that they are on fixed income, it's very hard for them to come out with more additional fundings.
While some feel forced out, others might look to buy into a condo. And before you close the deal, Realtor Evan Sofier stresses what you must know.
If there is a special assessment, you need to know all the information about it right away. As far as what is the timeline for the special assessment, how much of it is due, can it be paid off sooner than later?
Sofier emphasizes you're legally entitled to know the whole financial picture.
If something is known by the HOA, by the owner of the condo, that really needs to be something that's being shared with the condo owner. It can literally make or break their decision. Vital to the process, especially now with so many special assessments out there.
The one handed down at Carriage Hills pushed Casey to put her retirement home on the market, hoping for a miracle to stay in her home.
People out there need help and probably in worse shape than me, right? So, you know, I can't be too gimme about this, but if there was anything that anybody could do for me, you know, you have my 100% attention.
I did a quick search and found 12 recorded liens filed at Carriage Hills this year in Broward County. I reached out to the association's president and attorney asking if they plan to foreclose on all 12 homes or if they were willing to create a new payment plan for residents needing financial help to pay the special assessments. The association's attorney, Carlos Lopez, tells us he was unaware Ms. Casey is trying to sell her home, and Ms. Casey has not presented the association with a sales contract. He says they will continue to pursue its active collections, including any properties with recorded liens against them. However, the association remains committed to working out payment plans or settlements with any unit owner and collections. He adds the special assessments are necessary for the ongoing concrete restoration work that is required by the 40-year building recertification. Reporting in Hollywood, Joe Gorcho, CBS News Miami.
When we come back, see how you can save big on your AC bill as the temperatures and electricity fees continue to climb. That's next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Living in South Florida means we have more opportunities for fun in the sun, but on the other side of that coin is a higher risk for heat-related illnesses. CBS News Miami's Nakaya Carrero shares some critical tips to safely beat the heat during these scorching summer days.
One of the reasons people come to Florida is because of the weather, year-round sunshine. But according to a report, Florida is leading the country for hospital visits due to heat-related illnesses. So, how do you beat the heat?
You don't get used to it. We just make our walks quick when it's hot. My daughter has shade. She has a little fan. I bring ice water around and we're in and out.
Floridians all have things they do to beat the heat. Some stay inside, but others like Carrie, who is a dog walker, don't have that option.
I have to stop in between each dog walk and I bring water bottles with me. If I forget them, I have to stop and pick one up. And luckily the local businesses here in Edgewater will give me a glass of water for free.
According to the Florida Policy Institute, the state saw more than 26,000 emergency room visits between 2018 and 2022. Dr. Jason Mansour at Broward Health says people going to the hospital due to the heat are people typically who work outside, athletes, and the vulnerable population, which includes kids and elderly.
The temperatures are very hot, and our ability to dissipate heat off of our body is diminished when it comes to high humidity. And so this time of the year is the time that we're seeing especially a lot of folks coming in.
The doctor says the slightest changes can save you a trip to the hospital and your life, like moving to the shade, having a fan, and hydrating before going outside.
Starting the hydration before you even leave the home is really important. So you kind of fill your tank, so to speak, so you have the ability to adapt to the environment when it becomes hot.
The doctor says one of the main things they do when treating a patient with a heat-related illness is to put them in an ice bath. Don't have an ice bath? He says applying ice to your neck, armpits, and groin area help cool down your central circulation. In Miami, Nakaya Carrero, CBS News, Miami.
Good advice there, and no surprise here, the higher the temperatures go, the lower the thermostat drops, and this could have an impact on your energy use. Florida Power and Light wants to help customers save. CBS News Miami's Tanya Francois followed along as they did an energy audit.
Marcio and Natalia Perez have been together more than 60 years. Now retired, they have downsized their home and want to do the same with their bills.
Because of the fixed income, we have to be more conscious on saving energy of any sort.
The hotter it was outside, the cooler they wanted it inside. They knew adjusting their thermostat could cost them. They needed options.
We all have to do something about it. We personally, we have to watch the bill that is coming. And I'm very conscious about it.
FPL energy experts came to the Perez's home looking for ways the couple can save, beginning with the AC. They say change the filters monthly, set the thermostat to automatic, not cool, and watch the temperature.
If they have a programmable thermostat, they could program it when they're at home at 78, when they're gone at 82. Every degree under 78 is 5% more on their electric bill.
FPL advised the Perez's to lower the temperature of their hot water heater also. It's beyond the recommended 120 degrees.
So already we can tell this is hotter than the recommendation.
Exactly.
And lowering it just to 120 by 20 degrees can lead to some savings.
Exactly.
Now to the washer and dryer. FPL advises to wash in cold water and make sure the lint filter on the dryer remains clean.
I am very grateful that these companies like FPL are concerned and willing to tell us how to save every spot in the house.
FPL has a dashboard where you can log in and track your energy use down to the month, the day, or even the hour. Meanwhile, if you would like more tips and an energy audit for your home, we put that information on our website at cbsmiami.com. For now, in the route, Tanya Francois, CBS News, Miami.
Still ahead, they're hoping to become the next generation of doctors, and now they're one step closer. We take you behind the scenes of UM's Summer Surgical Scholars Program after the break.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. High school students considering a career in the medical field had quite the experience. The University of Miami Holy Cross Health Summer Surgical Scholars Program is underway. It allows students to shadow surgeons and get a firsthand look at what their future could look like. CBS News Miami's Trish Christakis was in the operating room and shows us behind the scenes.
16-year-old Sharda Gowda says she's wanted to be a surgeon since she was 8 years old after watching her father in the medical field.
He would always tell me like the cases he would see or the people he would see, and he would talk about it. So I've always been like very interested at a young age by that.
It's her dream to help people, and today she got one step closer, learning more than any classroom can teach her, as she's already practicing on this Da Vinci console, which is used in robotic surgeries.
Well, I learned how to like use the claws with the robot. So it's like I learned how to pick things up, rotate, and then like drop it.
These students complete 4 10-hour shifts where they observe surgeries, learn how to suture, and use the robotic laparoscopic simulator.
As a kid, you're kind of confused. You don't really know what you want to do. And, sometimes the only way to really know is to experience it.
I was able to shadow like a neurosurgeon my first day, and I was like, oh, this is something that I really want to do in the future.
These current doctors didn't have an opportunity like this. They say there's always a need in the medical field, so this is something exciting for them.
You know, they have a very good idea of what we're doing because they're seeing us, they're watching what we're doing in the operating room, they're standing with us by the bedside when we're actually operating on the patients, we're explaining the surgeries to them.
The program is available for students who are relatives of Holy Cross Health employees. In Fort Lauderdale, Trish Christakis, CBS News, Miami.
And a group of local high school engineering students back home after a competition in Texas where they made Miami proud with a solar-powered car they built from scratch. They attend Florida Atlantic University High School, and this was their first participation in the Solar Car Challenge, a program designed to motivate students in science, technology, and alternative energy. CBS News Miami's Steve Majiri has the story of the Solar Owls.
This thing's pretty much 2 batteries, solar panels, a frame, and a set of wheels. And there aren't any mirrors. So instead, students installed this rear view camera in the back of the car. And on each side, students installed these side cameras, helping them see what's behind them and next to them. It runs on sunshine.
Oh, it's still right there.
And the students prep it like a pit stop crew.
But you guys are ready, though? All right. All set. All set. All right.
Ava Palazzolo and her close to 40 classmates spent 2 years designing, planning, and building this solar-powered set of wheels. And they're only in high school.
When I joined the club, it was just a carbon fiber frame that we had to epoxy together ourselves. And then we had to add all the bits and pieces, the motor, the MPPTs, you know, all the good stuff.
The car absorbs energy from the sun and then sends it to the back where the motor is.
This is all the good stuff.
Florida Atlantic University high school officials tell us this is the first car of its kind in Florida that's been built by high school or college students. Palazzolo is impressed every time it starts up.
It's amazing to me, honestly, how high schoolers could build this entire thing.
And they just came back from the Solar Car Challenge competition in Texas against other schools with solar-powered cars. They came in second in a race and took home the gold for Best Engineering Design.
Honestly, we spent so much time in this, countless hours, at least 100 hours from each of us.
And these students may have already found their next project, improving the car's ability to charge while driving, which Palazzolo says may be a reason why they lost the race.
Yeah, it drains more than we charge it. That's why we had to take frequent breaks during the race, you know, to charge back up. You know, it would have been nice to charge while we were driving, but maybe next year.
It's not officially their car until they give her a name. They named her All Set, which is Tesla backwards. In Boca Raton, Steve Majiri, CBS News, Miami.
Very cool. Congrats to them. Thanks for joining us this half hour on Headliners. As always, keep it right here to CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great one.